Good afternoon. My name is Karen Mattoon, and my philosophical analysis is on the philosopher John Dewey, the role of democracy on education, and the interaction of the environment on learning. John Dewey was a great American philosopher and educator known as a leader of the progressive movement. He was born in a small town in Vermont, very close-knit community with a sense of togetherness. But America at this time was changing rapidly to an urban and industrialized nation. He witnessed the vast westward expansion and the rugged sense of individualism, and looking at the pioneers as adaptable, flexible, and innovative. He questioned the changes that were going on in his life. He was also influenced by Darwin's theory of evolution and the adaptation to change. And during his adult years, the progressive movement and the need for educational reform was in full swing. His thoughts and ideas and tenets were closely aligned with pragmatism. He denied absolute truths for fluid, changing ideas. His thoughts went from a very fixed world to a world that was adaptable and flexible and in continual change. This concept of change became a key tenet of his philosophy. He dismissed compartmentalized curriculum, and he adopted the theory of experience based on active learning. Experience was defined by him as the interaction between man and the environment. This was an experience of learning by doing, or what some scholars called learning by intelligence. This intelligence was in a continual process of change by restructuring and reorganization. The experience needed to take place in a free and open democratic society of an interaction between individuals, groups, and organizations. And these intellectual exchanges needed to be free-flowing in order to find connections and correlations and build on previous learning, and therefore restructuring of intelligence, creating intellectual growth. The restructuring of traditional education is really what Dewey did. He went from a very traditional framework to practical application, to human interaction, to experience and collaboration in a democratic society. He believed in connecting and relating opposed ideas. And really, the biggest change is that learning by doing, but with intelligent thought. In theory to practice, the needs of the child was very important. Hands-on project-based learning that engaged all. This could be taught and learned by all people in all disciplines. However, he did believe in the balance between the teacher and the student-directed learning. So the role of the educator was to promote the learning, so it brought the student and the teacher together. He also believed in an interconnectedness of school and the community. His perspective on diversity was different from other philosophers. In this free and open democratic society, he discounted the theory of innate intelligence. He believed in educating all people, and he believed that in the right environment, all people could improve. And this schooling allowed all citizens to develop, to solve problems, and that society really had the responsibility to educate their citizens. Now, there were certainly some critical analysis of him. Some thought that his theory of experience and experimentalism belittled the moral values of education, and in opposition to biblical truths, he believed that moral conduct was developed through interactions, and that moral commitment was to the community, and that the sense of self-fulfillment and satisfaction was gained from experiences. His curriculum was centered more on the science, natural sciences, and not the arts and literature, which some believed discounted biblical art and stories. Now, in conclusion, John Dewey changed the landscape of modern education. He believed learning by doing would build intelligence. He wanted to align education to the needs of the child in this problem-solving, hands-on learning to increase active engagement and build 21st century citizens.